Good morning. I got up nice and early, hoping to go to the plots and get some things done. Unfortunately, the weather's put an end to that. Hopefully it'll pick up this afternoon. So while I'm at home, I just thought I'd get some carrot seeds started. I'm going to try chitting them. I've never done this before, but I've just watched a video on YouTube on how to do it. So I'm going to give it a go. Got nothing to lose, so why not? I've just got 2 Tupperware tubs. I've put a piece of kitchen towel in the bottom and give it a little bit of a spray over. I've got my carrots, Autumn King 2 extra long. I've just poured them onto a bit of a kitchen towel so it makes them a little bit easier to see. And then what I'm going to do is I'll get a cocktail stick and I'm going to painstakingly take them out one at a time, pop them into there, put the lids on and put them in the airing cupboard for a week. And then hopefully I should be able to plant them out next week into one of the tall carrot planters. And there we have it, that's the first tub done. It didn't take too long really, it took sort of 5-10 minutes. So I'll get the second one done now and then I'm just going to pop them into the airing cupboard. The carrot seeds in the on the wet foil have started to germinate. As you can see, there's lots of roots. There's a few that have got a few green shoots. So what I'm going to do now is, now it's finally stopped raining, I'm going to nip down to the plot and get some of these put in. I'll show you the process. I made a little template to space them out. And I don't normally go down on a Tuesday, but when they're ready, they're ready. So I'll see how many I can get in. Hopefully I should be able to get about 10 or 15. I'd rather have 10 or 15 large carrots than hundreds of smaller ones. Just easier to process. The other tub hasn't fared quite so well. I don't think there's any that have germinated in there. I think it might have been a bit too warm for it on there because I put that one on a propagator and this one's just been left at ambient room temperature. So if I do any more, I'll know that I don't need to put them on the propagator. Just leave them in a warm room and they'll sort themselves out. So I'm going to head down to the plot now and get these planted. So, as you can obviously tell, I'm down at the allotment now. I've got my little template out with the pre-marked holes. I'm just going to use my pencil to bob a little hole in. I'm going to go about ½ an inch down, and then into each of the holes I'm going to put one of the pre-chitted carrots. So I'll just get the first row done. So it's not complicated at all. Just going to drop the pencil in. So I go just past the metal section. And then that should leave me some perfect indents in the soil, just enough to get the carrots in. So I'll get that done now because I can't do it with one hand. And then once they're in, I'll show you what we're looking like. So that's the holes all taken out, and then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the end of a plant label. I'm just going to try and very gently there we go, and then we're just going to drop him into the hole. And just cover it over. And once I've got them all in, I'll give it a watering and put the cover back on. Right, so I'm just going to get those done now. Be a lot quicker with 2 hands. Now to finish off the rest of the bed, I've just done 4 rows of sweet candle and 4 rows of flyaway. Now flyaway is supposed to be root fly resistant, but it doesn't really matter anyway because I'm going to be putting EnviroMesh over the top of this once they germinate. So what I'm going to do now is just sift some compost over the top, give it all watering, and then put the cover back on because we're going to have a couple of cold nights coming up. And then that'll be pretty much the carrot bed done. There's a thin strip down the middle. I might put some parsnips in there if I can ever get any to chit at home. So I'll just get that sieved over the top and watered in. My main focus for this morning is going to be getting the netted covers ready to go over 2 of the beds, because I want to start getting the onions planted out in the next couple of weeks. I've made a start on the netted area, so I've just built 2 frames, an upper and a lower, and I've got some steel angles that I'm going to use to raise the height. This is one that I was working on yesterday afternoon. I couldn't film because it was raining off and on, so that'll cover the entire bed. I'm going to put 2 braces across the top and 2 down the side, and then I can plant the rest of this bed up, and I can take the cover from there and put it over here. So I'm going to have 3 beds that are going to be netted, and that yellow net I'm going to use to put on top of the carrot planter when they come through. In fact, let's have a little bit of a look now. I've started to get some weed growth on top, which isn't surprising really, being a lot of this was a homemade compost. But I don't think any of the actual carrots have come through yet, and I wouldn't expect them to really. So it's been less than a week. Even the pre-chitted ones I wouldn't expect to be coming up yet, although it might be. I'm not sure if that might be the start of a carrot seed coming through. Yeah, not much going on in there at the moment, so I'll pop the lid back on just to keep it warm, and I can get on with the job of finishing these 2 cages off. The framework for the cover for this one is now complete. What I've done here, I've actually put this slat underneath so it gives support to the beam across, just to make it that little bit stronger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the EnviroMesh out, stretch it out over the top and staple it into position, and then I'll start work on that one. See, netting on as best I can get it. I think what I might do on the other one is I'll use wood in the corners, because it's made it really awkward to staple the corners, so I've just folded them round and stapled them, and it's not the best netting in the world. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift it up onto its side, and I'm going to staple to the underside of the frame the rest of the netting. And that's it all done. I've stapled the netting to the underside and to the back face, and those little legs that you can see there, just keep it in position, stop it moving from side to side too much. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some hinges and put some hinges on, so when I want to get in and weed it, I can lift it up out the way. Just put 3 hinges on one side and the strap, so that when I open it, it doesn't go all the way over. Yeah, so what I've learned on this one is to use wood in the corners. I might just chop this piece of wood down. I've got some more bits of wood over there, and I believe those sides are round about 1/2 metre high, 2 feet, which seems to be just about the right height. Slightly taller than this one, because on this one, as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but the onions are touching the roof. So I've made this one just a little bit higher, and I can go a little bit higher again on this one because it's not as wide. The reason I've set the width to this is because of the length of the EnviroMesh. Right, so I'm just going to find some bits of wood to cut up. So rather foolishly today I went down to the allotment and forgot to take my phone with me. So I'm just filming the outro now, and I've just noticed that we've got a loofah growing inside the dining room. I think I need to increase the size of the pot. That was a little bit of a surprise, I wasn't expecting that. So I've lost a little bit of footage by not taking my phone with me today, but I didn't really do a lot. I was just potting up the melons and pumpkins. And so I've got them sorted out now, so they're just resting in the greenhouse. It's nice and warm in there, so they'll be all right for a little while. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again next week. Thank you and goodbye.